Hey folks, welcome to the Adventurous Otter, and today we're getting started on a project turning this camper shell and the pickup truck into a camper for the trips we got going on this summer. First things first, we gotta get this seal replaced. Let's get started. Alright, here's the aluminum camper shell we've got that we're gonna be using. First thing I need to do is get the seal pulled off. I got a nice new rubber one we're gonna switch it out for. I'm gonna set you guys up on time lapse and we'll get this thing taken off. I'm using this 5-in-1 drywall tool to get most of this off. And it's working great on the raw aluminum. But these sides here they're just plain aluminum, so I'm not worried about scratching that. This front edge here, you can tell it's painted black aluminum. And I'm not worried about scratching it, so I gotta be a little more gentle on the front edge. But I'm gonna keep working on getting this glue off. Then we'll get it cleaned up for the new to go on. Hey guys, sorry about the wind, but this is what we got. This is what came off. It was got some leaves on it now, but it was more of the foam that you can pick up at Lowe's or Home Depot, and it just compresses and it gets real tacky, and it doesn't really insulate very well or waterproof. The water can still kind of seep through it. What I picked up here is something I found on Amazon. I found some good reviews for it. It's called the Super Cap Seal XL. It's more of a rubber, and so it should rebound to fill that gap a little better and take up any variances with the truck bed liner that I have. It's a spray-on liner. And we're going to get the rest of this cleaned up, and we'll be able to get this put on. So I just got done reading the directions on the seal, and it looks like I can apply this. Looks like I can apply this down to about 50 degrees. We're floating right around there right now. I'm ready to get this going, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this on. The kit comes with some alcohol prep pads, so I'm gonna get this wiped down the rest of the way, and we'll be able to put the seal on. I'm gonna take this all the way around and I'll be right back. Well, I guess it's time to get going on the seal. I'm really liking how this looks. I'll get you a close up there. 3 tubes. I think it'll seal up real nice on the truck. We're just gonna take our time, try to run it right along the edge. I'll show you guys how I'm going to do the corner. There's pretty good directions, but I'll show you how the corner works out when we get there. Alright, I'm going to try and get this corner lined out the best I can. I hope you guys have a good view. But I'm going to start by taking a triangle out so I can get a nice 45 and keep this outside tube intact all the way through. Alright, here goes nothing. Looks like we might be all right. Let's peel that paper off and see how we did. I think that'll work for me. We're running all the way around. Well, I'm gonna get my mess cleaned up and we'll see if we can get this back on the truck. Alright, well I've never done this part by myself, but let's get this camper shell back up on the truck. Alright, I was finally able to get the cap on. Didn't film it, but it went pretty good. Very happy with how the seal turned out. Looks like it'd be sealed up nice. I took it to the car wash and did not get very much water inside of the camper shell. There are a few more spots that I still need to work on sealing. You can kind of see inside the truck bed right there. We'll work on that as we move along, but it's looking pretty good. With that, the next step I'm going to move into, that I already have the materials for, is getting this insulated. For that, I've got some of this styrofoam insulation board. It's about a 1/2 inch thick. Got some Reflectix foil tape, and then to go along with that, I have another piece of that insulation board and some Reflectix rolled insulation. I believe this is about a 1/4 inch thick, and the Reflectix insulation combined with the styrofoam should be just what I need to match up with these ribs to get a good, thick, effective insulation. Alright, you can see what I'm doing here is I'm cutting this 1/2 inch styrofoam to fit snug between the ribs so it holds itself up. And then I'm adding the 1/4 inch rolled insulation and using the foil tape to secure all the insulation in place and also to air seal the camper shell. After I did this, I used some 3M spray adhesive and indoor-outdoor carpet to carpet the inside of the camper shell, and it turned out really good. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.